Yo, what's going on, guys? And of course, we gotta talk about my Orlando Magic. I was at in class, PhD, learning SSPS, IBM statistics. Such fun, data analytics. Let's go. Mac McClung, slam dunk champ, back to back, probably maybe go for third. G League MVP, signed a partially guaranteed deal with the Orlando Magic, did the same thing last year. And basically, what it means is they really like the kid. He might have had offers elsewhere, but they weren't as good or they weren't as competitive as what they offered. So he more than likely is going to compete for a roster spot. If he makes it, he gets to be on the team and eventually the deal gets fully guaranteed. If he doesn't, he walks away with probably six figures as a signing bonus for training camp, and worst comes to worst, maybe goes and plays on their G League team again. So, I want to hear your thoughts down below in the comment section. What do you guys think of Mac McClung? Now, first thing I want to talk about is when we look at our Big Daddy Mac, is this is currently the roster. So they don't have any two ways. And hypothetically, I could be wrong about this, but Mac McClung, as he is currently, I guess at this point in his career, he has played 3 years of service, or 2 years. This is going to be his third year. He can be on a two-way for another season. My understanding then is maybe he gets a two-way. I think best case scenario, they cut either Caleb Houston or Corey Joseph for Mac McClung, and he ends up being the third string point guard behind Jalen Suggs and Anthony, I guess fourth string behind Cole Anthony and Anthony Black. So there's that. Now, I don't know. Yeah, I think the guys he's fighting for a roster spot with is Corey Joseph and Caleb Houston if it's a legit spot. If not, maybe he'll be on a two-way for them. But so far, he's really a guy that it's not like he's played much in the NBA. Let me take this off the screen so you guys can see. He's a guy that primarily has been in the G League, yes. And Mac McClung is, I think he's a guy who has skill and has the ability to be an NBA player. I think one of the biggest things that people need to understand is he's completely changed his game since coming in. And I know if you look, he's a 25 point per game scorer last year for the Magic in 40 game. And before that, he was a 19 point per game scorer for the Delaware. And he's basically gotten better every year. Even since he left Texas Tech, he's just completely become a different player. I think that one of the things we need to do is just analyze what he's good at and then what else, and if he can make the team, what he can provide, because he is solid and I really do think he's a fun basketball player. And like I said, this past year he averaged 25 points, 5 rebounds, and 6.5 assists. And the year before, that was with the Magic, and last year with the Blue Coats, both G League teams. One for the Orlando Magic G League, and then last year with the Sixers G League team, he averaged 19, 3.5, and 5. And basically back-to-back years, shot 50%. He shot better from 3 the year before, 42, but this year he shot 38. Either way, so let's just talk about what Mac is good at. So Mac has consistently showed that he's capable of learning, he's capable of getting better, and he's an explosive athlete. We all know that. He's got scoring ability. He's gotten better at playmaking both in transition and in the half-court setting. And he's a fan favorite. Not that that matters, but he's marketable in a way. People like him regardless if he's riding the bench. And he's shown a consistency and efficiency, like I said, shooting like 15-40 almost for like back-to-back seasons, almost 3 seasons. And he's a willing defender, it seems, at times. And his 6.5 assists to 2.5 turnover ratio is pretty good. Now, I think it's time that I come back and let's step into reality. Why is he not in the NBA? I like Mac McClung, and I don't think he's a bad player. I think he's a good player. I think if there's an expansion team, he's in the NBA. But because there's only 30 teams and expansion's probably 5 years down the pipeline till they're actually playing, despite his offensive strengths, I think he faces a few challenges. I really don't think the 6'2" height matters. He doesn't have long arms, and that doesn't really matter. And he's a willing defender. However, he's not Pat Bev or Facundo Campazzo or Matthew Dellavedova, Craig Porter, where they're just kind of dogs and they're like pests. Jordan Goodwin's another one. Can he get that? Yeah, but I've always talked about this. You just don't teach someone that. If someone wants to be that innate defender, you're kind of born with it. Like, I'm a really good defender. That was my first skill learning in basketball, and I still play good defense. It leads to, biting your tongue a lot, getting elbows, chins, and like shoulders, your chin, you're going into your chin going into people's shoulders, and it's a lot of energy. And I'm not trying to say like he doesn't play defense, but he's also going to be mismatched in a switch heavy league. He will get exposed against, like, even me, like, even Facundo Campazzo or Matthew Dellavedova or Pat Bev, Craig Porter, all the Jordan Goode, all these other pests, Jacob Gilyard, we're all going to still lose to Joel Embiid and all the big guys. It's just going to get us exposed. And those defensive struggles mixed with the fact that he's not like a Trae Young level playmaker or even a Seth Curry, not even Steph Curry, but a Seth Curry shooter, just makes it difficult to give him a role in the NBA. And more so, while being effective in lower leagues, doesn't always translate seamlessly into the NBA. And if he's going to be riding the bench and you know what Mac McClung is, I'm sorry. You know what he is and what he's going to do in an NBA game. He's never going to really be a starter, and if he is a spot starter, look, he played 2 games, averaged 20.5 minutes in those 2 games for the Sixers. He averaged 12.5 points, 5 rebounds, and 4.5 assists. And if we really just look more closely to those games that he did play in for the Sixers, like, I want to see the game logs. One game he had 33 minutes, and in those 33 minutes he put up 17 shots, shot 47% from the field, put up 9 threes, shot 33% from 3, hit 3 of them, 20 points, 9 assists, 9 rebounds. One of the last games of the season's against the Brooklyn Nets, in a game that they won by 29. That's not going to be his role. His real role is, if he did play, was what he did the game before, or even what he did in the preseason that year with the Sixers, where he played 8 minutes against the Hawks, which was an overtime that they won by 5. He got 3 shots off, 2 of them being threes, hitting 1 3 and missing the one inside the arc shot, and the other 3, got to the free throw line twice, ended with 5 points and a rebound in 8 minutes. That's realistically his role in the NBA. Maybe, and it's more expansive, he plays a microwave, is what he did in the preseason when he got the chance to put the shots up against the Wizards, which, again, this isn't 22-23. He put up 6 field goals, shot 66% from the field, which it's not going to happen every night. Went 4 of 6, hit 1 3, attempted 1 3, 2 assists, 2 rebounds, 2 steals. Not going to have that every night. 9 points. So if you're realistically, he's probably like a 6-2-2 guy, like in 12 minutes a night. If you're going to give him a roster, there's just other people you give a roster spot to. But hopefully he makes it.